Man, you're gonna make me look like a liar. Hey guys, Brendan here with Nixon Reptiles. In today's video, I want to go over blood pythons in Tinley Park. So first things first, we are going to be vending in Tinley Park. Our friend Corey DeLong over at CD Constrictors allowed us to basically throw up a display on his table, and that's going to help us out to meet a bunch of different people and potentially move some of our animals that we have. And the main topic of this video is blood pythons. If you've been following us on Instagram, you've been seeing that I've been posting those a little bit more lately, and I want to start doing videos in regard to the blood pythons and as well the Burmese pythons that we keep. Fun story time about me and my history with blood pythons. So for like my 17th birthday or something, my parents got me $17 worth of scratch-offs. And I won like $200 or $300. And what did I want to do? Like any other, young kid interested in snakes, I wanted to go get another snake. So I'd been doing all this research on blood pythons, and I just loved the look. I thought they looked awesome. So I went down to the local shop, which at that time was Triple L Reptile in Escondido in California. They had a blood python, and I wanted that snake. So the interesting thing there is that I went in, they wouldn't let me handle it because it was nippy. And instead, they let me handle and take home a albino Burmese python. So it's just really kind of interesting that I was not able to handle and potentially get this snake back when I was like 17 because it was considered nippy, and the worker there didn't want to let me hold it because of that, when I could have been educated on handling them, basically differently than another snake. Both hands on the animal at all times to support the body weight, different things like that. But instead, they let me basically talk my mom into letting me go home with an albino Burmese python. I had that snake for about a year. I named her Penny. I found a guy locally when I was going into the Marines that he actually ended up getting her. And for a good while, I was actually receiving updates from him for a good couple of years. He tried breeding her, and then she had some complications and ended up passing away. But it's just really interesting, I guess the misconceptions that led to me, getting into blood pythons a little bit later than I had intended. In recent times, I picked up my earlier blood pythons in 2017, and since then, I've been kind of slowly building up a little bit of a collection of them. There are various types of blood pythons. You have the red blood pythons, you have Sumatran short-tail pythons, and then you also have Borneo pythons. In my hands though, I actually have a black blood, which is given that name. These are a Sumatran short-tail python. I just have her out because I didn't want to spoil the rest of the video, but one of the common misconceptions about blood pythons is that they are aggressive, and overall they're actually super friendly. You just need to fully support their body. They do not hold on to you like a typical ball python or other snake would. You need to fully support their body, as they're not going to wrap their body around you and hold on. But as you can see, these things are awesome. They are super, super dark, and as adults, they are just beautiful. They get darker and darker as they age. And if you look really, really close here, you can see they have orange eyes. If it focuses on the snake. Either way, beautiful species, super friendly, and you just need to fully support their body and you're not going to have any problems. So let's get into the blood pythons, the red blood pythons. So as I mentioned with that black blood python, they typically get better with they age, and the T negatives are a perfect example of that. You might look at this animal here and think, it's not that bad looking. It looks like your typical albino, yellow, a little bit of oranges and other colors. But as these things age, they explode with color, and it really becomes something pretty amazing. So we're just going to get a couple more, close-ups of this guy here, which is a GoldenEye T negative. Here, let me actually do this number, and then we'll zoom in a bit here. So, as you can see, squirrely little fella. But overall, color, not too bad, but fairly bland in comparison to what you're going to see here in a second. Come on, bud. I just want to show the world how pretty you are. And he does not want to cooperate. I wish I could just show his eyes really well. There we go. And then a little full body here. Dude, this guy just does not want to chill out. I know, you're outside. But these guys can be very active whenever you handle them. And as you can see, like I said, kind of flat colors, nothing too exciting. But once they age, they really, really explode, and that red only gets better. So let's go get one of the older animals. So next up, I want to show a 22 animal, as she's already trying to make her debut. Next up, we are going to show one of our T-negative albinos. We picked this one up from Nick over at Cold Blooded Earth. As you can see, she has a lot more color than that male we had just shown. These snakes age incredibly, and they just get darker and darker. So as you can see, lots of orange, lots of actual reds. I'm going to try and tilt the camera down so we can get a little bit better of a view of her. So there we go. Beautiful, beautiful snake. Tons and tons of color. And as I said, you could definitely see how this snake has only gotten better as it's gotten a little bit of size on it compared to that last one that you've seen. And overall, again, pretty chill as long as you're fully supporting. I feel like she has given me a little bit of a side eye, but I was dealing with the rodents earlier today, so she might have a little bit of a lunch in mind for her. But overall, still an absolutely beautiful snake, and the color that just gets better and better as they get older. So let me get an animal that's a little bit older than this one to really show you some of that potential. All right, and lastly, we have an older T-negative male. So again, you can see this thing is like basically fire truck red and white with really, really cool oranges along like the dorsal pattern. So just to show you, you know, size-wise, pretty decent size and absolutely a ton of color. Let's zoom in for the close-up. I mean, I don't know what more you could want in a red snake. The color on these things is just insane. They, you know, handle differently than say a ball python does, but overall, just having that, I guess, fuller body structure and just, I don't know, they're a little bit more of a meatier snake. They definitely don't have the same disposition as far as like a ball python does, where they're going to coil, you know, just kind of coil up. Like these guys are kind of going to stand their ground a little bit if they're feeling a little some kind of way. But overall, just beautiful, beautiful snakes. And I'm really enjoying working with them, and I'm looking forward to having, you know, more in the future and doing kind of more projects and stuff with these guys. So again, just to show some of that color, and then the really, really cool heads these guys have. Just absolutely beautiful. So I'd love to hear down in the comments below what you thought about this video. If you'd like to see more like it in the future, showing some of the other blood pythons and even the Burmese pythons that we have in the collection. Make sure if you're attending Tinley Park that you come by and say hello. We are going to be again at Corey DeLong's booth with CD Constrictors. Don't forget to follow us on Instagram and check us out on Morph Market to add an animal to a new or existing project. Thanks again for taking your time to watch this video, and we'll see you in the next one.